The morning sun bathes the mansion in a warm glow, casting long shadows that dance across the marble floors. Jungkook, the feared mafia lord, awakens to the soft hum of the city outside his window. Beside him, Vine stirs, her eyes fluttering open. Good morning, Jungkook murmurs, his voice gravelly yet tender. Morning, Vine replies, a sleepy smile playing on her lips. She stretches, her movements careful as she cradles her pregnant belly. Jungkook's eyes soften as he places a gentle hand on her stomach and looks at it. How are you, little one? It's not good to make your father wait that long. Come out soon. Jungkook said in his sweet melody voice as he kissed on her belly and then looked at her with romantic eyes to lay a lingering morning kiss on her lips, followed by her too. Soon it's gonna be laying beside us, Vine says, laughter bubbling in her voice. I think they're going to be just like their father. Jungkook grins, a rare expression reserved only for Vine. I hope so. Vine laughs and gets off the bed, for he asked, where are you going? Vine, to take a shower, of course. Why? Jungkook, his voice having a playful gleam, said, let's go together. She looked at him and giggled as he followed her to the washroom. As the day unfolds, Vine moves around the mansion, her grace a stark contrast to the harsh reality of Jungkook's world. They share moments, brief and stolen, amidst the business calls and dealings that occupy Jungkook's time. In the quiet moments, Vine's laughter echoes through the halls, a melody that pierces through the shadows. In the afternoon, as they sit in the garden, Vine's stepmother hatches her sinister plan. Unbeknownst to the couple, the tranquility of their world is about to shatter. Vine, lost in thought, stands near the staircase. As Vine descends, a sudden force propels her forward. Jungkook's eyes widen in horror as he witnesses the events unfold on the surveillance screen. Jungkook was actually sitting in his study room, relaxed, doing his work, being as focused as ever. While his one eye is at the work in hand, his other eye was on the computer screen, where he could see the whole house through cameras. He didn't intend to do that, but as his eyes fell on the screen, he saw Vine walking peacefully, so his attention went towards the screen. He left his work for a minute to take this time to adore her, which he knows will calm his mind, and he will be able to focus better after that. He looked at her as she was walking, and a wide smile appeared on his face, which wasn't for too long. As Vine descends, a sudden force propels her forward. Jungkook's eyes widen in horror as he witnesses the events unfold on the surveillance screen. His eyes widen as he sees the person behind this action, although he didn't care about them. All he could think about at that moment was wine. His heart stopped for a second, but he didn't know about it. His feet moved themselves, rushing towards the staircase in an instant. Wine. Jungkook's voice echoes through the mansion, his heart pounding in his chest. The word slows as he reaches the bottom of the stairs. Wine lies there, crumpled and vulnerable, her stepmother feigning concern in the background. Jungkook's eyes blaze with a dangerous intensity. Get out, he growls, his voice cutting through the tension. The stepmother's eyes widen, realizing her plan has failed. There she was, unaware of his behavior. Jungkook, however, pays her no attention. He gathers Wine in his arms, his touch surprisingly gentle despite the storm raging within him. Wine, love, wake up, he pleads, his voice a desperate whisper. She stirs, consciousness returning, and looks up at him. Jungkook. Relief floods his eyes as he cradles her face. You're okay. Don't worry. He rushes to the car with Wine in his arms. He puts her in the back seat and drives the car, his heart feeling the burning sensations that slowly took over him. And one moment of him driving was equivalent to an eternity. His eyes filled with tears, with his veins flowing fear and rage inside him instead of blood. Finally, the short yet longest distance was covered, and they reached the hospital with her being completely fainted. Jungkook was instructed to wait outside as she is being treated. With each passing second, he tried harder to convince himself that everything is fine. Knowing how strong she will be able to save both of them. After waiting for an hour or so of roaming around the hospital, doctor came out, his eyes softened and hope sparkling through them. He asked, how is she, doctor? Doctor. The corner of the stairs hit the back of her head badly. That's why she lost consciousness. But we have treated it. She will wake up any time now. And her child is fine too. A sigh of relief came out of his mouth as he bent down to thank the doctor as much as he could. The air gained calmness as he stepped inside her room and slowly reached her. Wine, he said Wine, while brushing her hair through his hand. While blushing. He sat beside her without talking much, as he didn't have any idea what to say at the moment. It was all too sudden for him to even react. When her eyes flickered after a couple of minutes, his eyes wide opened, and he looked at her with love. Wine, are you okay? Wine looked around, her eyes squinted, as she turned left to see her beloved husband in front of her, with sweat covering his forehead and eyes being filled with worries, completely red. Small smile ran through her lips as she looked at him, putting her hand on his cheek softly as she said, I'm fine, idiot. Stop worrying. Look at your face. He took her hand from his cheek and kissed it gently as he hugged her belly softly. I have been blessed with both of you. He laid there for a few moments and experienced the love they both gave him. Vine slowly recovers from the injuries inflicted upon her. Jungkook, a constant presence by her side, tends to her with a gentleness that surprises those who only know him as the formidable mafia lord. The incident becomes a turning point, a moment that deepens their connection. Meanwhile, Jungkook has cut off all of his connection from her stepmother, let alone banning her from his mansion. In the quiet of the night, Jungkook holds Vine close, accepting her in his embrace. I can't lose you, he confesses, vulnerability in his eyes. You won't, Vine assures him, her fingers tracing patterns on his hand. We are stronger than anything the world throws at us. Vine rests her head on Jungkook's shoulder, the scars of the previous days fading in the light of their love. Our little one will only know love and warmth, Vine says, her voice filled with determination. Jungkook nods, his gaze fixing on the horizon. Always, followed by them getting close to each other, for him to lay a lingering and gentle kiss on her lips. In the quiet of the night, surrounded by the echoes of the day they had rather forget, Jungkook and Vine find solace in each other's arms. The shadows may linger, but in their love, they discover a light that pierces through the darkness.